this world. And the whole world, the whole universe is created to be at their service in order to help them understand the greatness of their Creator and the wisdom behind their creation. So Allah says, didn't you see that Allah created the heavens and the earth in truth? And if Allah wishes, He can get rid of you. He can destroy you and come with a new creation, come with a different creation. And this is not difficult for Allah. It's easy for Him. Then Allah talks about some of the events that will happen in the hereafter. And here Allah draws our attention to the fact that every human being is responsible for himself. You are responsible for your own choices, and you will deal with the consequences of your actions and of your choices. So Allah says on the Day of Judgment they will be brought before Allah. All of them. None will be hidden from Allah. None will be able to hide from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the weak ones, the followers, will say to their leaders, to the people who had power over them, they will say to them, you have led us astray. We were just followers to you. So can you help us today? Can you avail us today? Can you save us from the punishment today? Because we followed your own choices. You decided for us what to do. You decided to us what course to follow. You decided to us, what way to take. So are you going to help us today? Can you benefit us? Can you avail us? Because it's your own choice. It wasn't our own choice. We were only followers. So the people in power will say to them, if Allah had guided us, we would have guided you. But we were misguided, and you followed us. Then Shaitan will come at that moment. Shaitan will come to everybody in this world, especially the disbelievers. He will come to them and he will say to them, وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ. Or just before that, the disbelievers will say, or the leaders of the disbelievers will say to them, now whether we, feel sorrow now, whether we are immersed in remorse or not, it's not going to change the situation. We have lost it. We have no hope now. Whether you, reprimand us, whether you blame us for what happened, or you blame it all on us, it's not going to benefit you. You will end up in the hellfire like we will end up in the hellfire. Yes, those were our choices, but you followed us, and that was your choice. So you have to be responsible for your own choice. Now الشيطان comes, وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم. Shaitan will say to all the disbelievers and all the sinners, Allah has promised you a promise of truth. He told you, obey me and you will end up in paradise. Disobey me and you will go to the hellfire. Clear, very, very clear in the Qur'an and in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Allah has promised you in truth. And He made it clear to you. And I made a promise to you. Yes, I whispered to you, I promised you that you will get this and you will get that. You will not be blamed for sin. Do that, enjoy yourself, don't worry about the hereafter. There is no life after death. And different whispers and lies and promises that He has given human beings. Those who listened to those who trusted Shaitan more than they trusted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Shaitan will say this to them. Allah promised you a promise of truth and I promised you, but I broke my promise. It was a lie. It was a lie. But He said, I had no power, I had no control over you. وَمَا كَانَ لِيَ عَلَيْكُم مِّن سُلْطَانٍ. I had no power over you. I didn't force you to obey me. You chose to obey me. You chose to trust me. You chose to trust my promises. And that was your own choice. So deal with the consequences of your own choice. I didn't have any power over you. I only whispered, I only gave you offers and promises and you took them, you trusted them. So that was your own mistake. That was your own fault. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Blame yourselves, don't blame me. You see, those people who follow Shaitan in this world, they follow their desires, they follow what they love, so they sin and they transgress the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people on the Day of Judgment, Shaitan will say to them, leave me alone. Blame yourself, don't blame me. Don't blame me. You are to be blamed because those were your own choices. And Allah says in the Qur'an, بَلِ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ رَهِينَ. Each person will be judged according to his own actions, according to his own choice. You had the choice in this world to follow Shaitan or to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So which one do you choose? Put your trust in Allah and Allah will give you what He promises you. But the shaitan will say to you on the day of judgment, I've promised you a lie. I lied to you. But don't blame me, blame yourself, because you chose to follow me. Then he will say, I'm not going to help you. I can't help you today. ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي. You can't help me and I can't help you either. There is no point of blaming one another. That's the end of it. You made a grave mistake. You made the ultimate mistake in your life, so now you deal with your own choice. ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي إني كفرت بما أشركتموني من قبل. I have nothing to do with your own choices. They said, we obeyed you, we followed your way. He says, I have nothing to do with that. I'm free from that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, indeed, the wrongdoers, those who transgress the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those will have a painful punishment. Then Allah gives us the other side of the story. The believers who trusted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they turned away from shaitan and his promises. They knew that he was a liar, because Allah warned us against him in the Qur'an. So many verses. The Qur'an is full with warnings against shaitan. Those believers who believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and did righteous deeds, Allah says, and they were entered into paradise, into gardens beneath which rivers flow by the permission of their Creator, with the dignity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they will greet each other with salam, with peace. This is the end of the believers. And that will be the end of the disbelievers. So from now on, when someone tells you to do something wrong, whether it be your father, your mother, your brother, your friend, and even if it's your society, your country, the society in which you live, it has its own force on you. There are many mistakes around in the society. Many people say, we can't go against the tide. We just, we flow with the tide. We go with the people. People do wrong things. People do fornicate. People deal with riba. People deal with haram. People backbite. We just with the people. We are part of the society. If you do that on the day of judgment, they will say to you, we cannot benefit you. You would say, well, we were followers. We were with you. We couldn't, swim against the tide. They would say to you, Shaitan will come to you and will say, ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي. I can't help you. And you can't help me. You made your own choices, so you be responsible for that. And you have to deal with the consequences of your own choice. So this is something we have to reflect on. We have to reflect that you are responsible for your own self. Nobody is going to benefit you on the day of judgment. What you choose, or which course you choose to follow in this world, you will be held responsible for that. So make sure that you make the right decisions, and that you follow the course, or you follow the course of action that will lead you to paradise, because nobody will help you on the day of judgment. Everybody will disown you. Everybody will say, I'm free from you. So if we benefit from those verses by taking this lesson, this would be a great achievement. Hopefully, inshallah, next time we will take more lights from the wonderful book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll try to benefit from it and practice it in our lives. Until we meet then, Assalamu Alaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarkatu.
Pardon us by the Qur'an.